is that you are to go and you will infect her with your illness as well, and she will become as you.
Yeah.
So that's your
Okay.
job, is to go and.
So I'll approach her as in the boat. I'll walk very determined towards her, approaching from the side. Let's say I'm approaching from along the row. There's always like a walking row where so along that row. And as I approach her, I will try to wrestle her down or make her fall to the ground.
As she sees you approach, first she's just horrified at this monstrous being, and then she looks again, and her legs kind of collapse under her as she catches herself on the ground, and she says a word, a name. How are you going to overcome this opposition? Oh, you said you were going to wrestle her to the ground.
Yeah.
There's your card.
Well, this is not going to do it. So, I'll try to wrestle her to the ground. But her pleads of her I'll rebel.
Okay. Now, to rebel, well, first of all, do you want to remember anything? Because that is a club. They will. That is a club. You could.
So what I could do is I could remember this. And then get a new one.
And then to rebel, you would discard one of those.
One of those to remove.
But it has to be the ace. Because it has to beat the king.
Okay.
Or you could just say, I fail.
Okay, and then we would be done. Or play one more.
No, not fail the whole game.
Okay.
That does not affect it. It's just the outcome of this episode.
Okay. Well, I am. As she falls down on her knees or to the ground, I just remember the last time I saw my mother, and it's connected to the time last time I hugged my sister, and as she moves her mouth, this woman makes me.
Do you remember your name?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember the name, just the way she moved her mouth. So it was a pleading, a time of pleading. Please don't go. And she said my name, but
right.
The name doesn't come to mind.
Okay. And so are you just stalled? You can't do anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. And the memory makes the flashback from the memory, which is from a time where I went away, forces me to go away again.
Right. I see. Yes. Okay. So the outcome.
So you you don't get any cards at all,
except if you use.
Okay.
Is that the weapon? So in other words, the more you obey me and the more extreme things you do to obey me, the more cards I get.
Okay.
Right. So the important thing for the outcome of this episode, this scene, is that she runs away, of course, but nobody, of course, is going to believe that she saw her brother, or especially in any kind of state like this. but that she is going to ultimately she's going to have to try to cope with what she saw, and that the weird news videos of the event. And at the moment, though, there's no way to put it together in any rational fashion. It's completely crazy. And she agrees that, soon she quickly realizes that nobody is going to take this seriously. They are already talking about medication. And she's like, oh, never mind. I guess it was a bad dream. I'm sorry. The news scared me, and then I was thinking about my brother, and then, okay, never mind. But that doesn't mean she thinks that, just that she knows what to say so she does not get committed somewhere. The health services in Sweden are excellent, and one of the things they're excellent at is taking care of you if you are a problem, as far as they see it. So, okay, let's take a look at the next thing that you are commanded. You have failed to do this, although.
So in a narrative sense, if I fail, it will never happen.
No, correct. That is not correct. If you fail, it will happen, just not through you.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, the only way you can keep it from happening is to rebel successfully.
Okay. Rebel successfully. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, unfortunately, she is going to contract an illness and is going to become very sick. It's going to take a long time, but she's going eventually to be hospitalized with an illness that doesn't seem to get better. So, and it's probably the same, right? So let's see the next command. How bad can it be? Pretty bad. The goal of the vengeful god is not always going to be clear in the long sense, but it is going to let's see. I'm going to have you appear, or rather be found, in okay, I have to think a bit. This is tough.
Yeah, no worries.
That's the first thing. We are going to move in our view to not too further in Sweden, but we are going to move over to northern Germany, in the Hamburg area, and that you are, and that here. That you are to strike at people from the shadows.
Okay.
You are supposed to do a lot of them, one at a time. You're just going to lurk in dumpsters or in, the alleys or wherever you can lie hidden during the day. Yeah. And then you will awaken at night and find yourself in some place, look for some dark place and strike at somebody, and you will you'll twist their heads and leave their bodies. But in each case, assign wherever the body lies. You don't have to do this, but there will be scorched, burnt marks in different writing underneath each body.
Okay. Yeah.
So after you kill them, there will be a scorched sign, a rune, or well, not a rune, but a Hebrew phrase, or an Arabic phrase, or a Greek Aramaic phrase from the texts that I'm talking about, and they will just appear in the ground or the pavement or something by themselves. Okay, it's gods can make
from the shadows of the alley.
You will strike and do the killing, and then this will be there, and you are to do this every night. Every night. So that's you have been delivered there. Who knows how you have been delivered there, but you have been, and now you are lurking through these streets.
So I'm hiding, waiting for my opportunity to strike, without making without other people noticing.
Right, you have to find isolated people. Yeah, and it doesn't matter who.
You have to make it a mystery as well.
So,
and I only pretty much know. I know Reeperbahnstrasse, but I don't know if that's Hamburg or not. But anyway, so I'll wait for someone to pass by this in this dark alley, and then I throw myself without using my weapon, but I'll throw myself on them and go for the throat.
All right. Well, you're successful. They kill them, and they and their body is found the next day with this burnt phrase underneath it. And I'm going to make this go kind of slow because your adversary here is the police. They are trying to stop whoever this is as it continues night after night. They are trying to figure out what the pattern is. They're interpreting these phrases.
There's a new one every night.
Yeah, and I imagine that we are now in a Nordic or German police procedural, where the neurotic detective is trying to figure this out and is looking at the passages and arriving at the conclusion that this is kind of the fusion Abrahamic God in its most angry form, right? That's and so they are trying to figure out how to stop you. So ultimately, your opposition is not really some kind of weapons-based assault back at you, but it is going to be making your job impossible. They are going to
they're going to force
establish. They will. Exactly. They're going to do two things. One is that they establish much better curfew on the city and they enforce it.
After a few days.
Exactly. I mean, the German police are pretty good at this kind of thing. They're going to organize the streets pretty well.
Depends on what kind of people I've.
Right, that's true too.
The social class of the people.
That's true too.
Could be that it don't, but they will notice the link between the cases. With
it's very clear. Yeah. God has a message here. It's not exactly hiding it. And the important point too is that the neurotic detective, because those are always the most brilliant on these TV shows, are figuring out the right religious language to use, and they are employing that as well.
Okay.
And that is driving you out. There are places you cannot go now in the city. There are places that are forcing you to move in the light during the day to try to escape from one place to another. They're actually being kind of successful with this. So that's your opposition.
Okay.